And welcome back, gamers. We are here playing Dwarf Fortress, a lazy noob pack again, and I am, of course, Draxxinusam. Um, as we left off last time, we were working on these stockpiles here and here. We're basically getting prepared for our first incoming trade caravan. So we will be making a whole lot of bulk crap to sell to dwarves. They're always the first people to show up. We'll also be working on getting the stockpiles ready so we can get rid of this, because I don't like having the wagon around. So again, I might go over a few of the commands just because I know, especially when I first played and I had to learn them on my own, they were pretty daunting to figure out. So you know, I'll bring those up again until you get so tired that you write me mean, nasty comments, or you send me mean, nasty emails. But until then, we will continue annoying you. So I'm kind of expanding out this area. I'm hoping that we don't run into any rock, but given the sort of differences here, I'm assuming we won't. So essentially, all of this could be farmland, but for now, we're only going to expand it there and there. So let's go through and check a few of our workshops just to make sure everything's working right. Go ahead and hit Q, which, if you recall, is the building viewer, and then look at your workshops. As you can see, these people are not doing squat. But to be fair, we don't really have squat to do, so as you can see, it immediately kicked it back. Where did it go? I must be getting notifications super fast, or I just can't see it. Does anyone see it? Yep. Oh, it's the one that I've been staring at. So as you can see here, it told me, hey, we don't have anything. So that was kind of dumb to do, but someone's got to do the first dumb. So I figure, why not me? Because I'm, making the video. Of course, the fishery and the butcher shop sort of automate themselves. Whenever something happens, they'll get to work. We always want to tell the still to process and create booze, because booze are cool, and dwarves think so too, and they will love you for those booze. Oh my god. Well, As you can see, the undead are apparently attacking, so this might be an interesting video. I have not done anything with my military, so this might be bad. We might get a few dead dwarves. It's a siege, even. Oh my god. Let's take a look what we got here. Bunch of... It's a goblin corpse. It's just one goblin corpse, is that it? Okay. That's weird. I don't think the undead die the same... see, this is something completely new. I've only dealt with the undead like a few times. As you can see, it's this little flashing thing right here. Let's learn about him. What are you doing here, dead guy? Goblin corpse. Ho ho! Gross. It's yuck. I read some of that and it was pretty nasty. But yeah, so there's a goblin here. At least it's just one. I thought it was going to be like 40 of them, but... we do have a squad of a couple idiots, so I guess we're going to do a bit of a combat tutorial. So, to bring up, hopefully, if at this point you have anyone who has any combat skills whatsoever. One second, let me consult my coffee cup here. Good point, coffee cup. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I forgot to test something. Whew. Okay. Crap. Oh well, we'll just go with it. The audio in this episode might be messed up. I'm hoping not. But anyways, so what we're gonna do is, if we have if you have a squad that you worked on just from immigrants, go ahead and hit M, or not M, S for squad. If you have multiple squads, they'll be listed here via their letter. The first squad will be A, the second squad you make will be B, etc., etc. All of their commands are here. So to give them a command, select them with their corresponding letter, and then give them the command that you happen to want to give them. In this case, it'll be M for move or station. So this flashing X means that the dwarves will move to this location and hang out until they see someone they want to beat up. Chances are we might lose all 3 of these dwarves, or none of them. You know, I've never really fought the undead, because usually they only attack in savage lands, and this place wasn't savage, so this is pretty unique, which is probably why there was only 1 of them. So, and then what we're going to do is, because we, yep, okay, there we go. So because I don't really want anyone who's not trained to sort of mess with that guy, what we're going to do is we're also going to create a burrow. So to create a burrow, what you do is you hit W, and it's basically, it takes you into the list of your burrows. And since we just barely started this, we obviously don't have any burrows. So we're going to want to add one. So go ahead and hit A, and you can hit Enter to define it. Sorry, I was looking at something. So we're going to hit N to name it, and we're going to just call it the fortress, because, you know, that's where we're at. And then we're going to start painting it, which is what it's called. So R, it shows you what you're currently doing, and we're currently painting. So if we hit R again, it means we're also erasing. So we want the farm to be fully operational. So again, it just acts like all of the sort of stuff in the rest of the game where you create a box, you start in one place, and then you go to another, and then everything that the burrow has painted will start flashing. And since we want everywhere in the fortress to be accessible, we're just going to make big boxes around everything in the fortress. And that means if you're in this burrow, don't go outside. This is the only place you're restricted to. And if you happen to watch my other video in the end of the last series, I also created a dwarf squishing device, which also operates on burrows. So we're going to exclude basically this hallway, because we want everyone to rush inside and not like, oh, I'm a dwarf. You know what would be cool? To wander into some zombies right now. So that's why we're doing that. So we've already defined it. We've created it, and it exists. So if we hit escape, you can see we're now in the main list, and the fortress burrow is what is listed here. So what we're going to want to do now is add citizens, which is this C menu. So go ahead and hit C. You navigate this with the plus and minus. So as you can see, woo, minus sends me up, plus sends me down, and we can sort of, woohoo, look at this, I'm looking at stuff. Okay, so we basically want to add everyone. So you hit plus and minus, and then you hit enter to add someone to a burrow. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We don't have a ton of dwarves. Hopefully this doesn't turn into a disaster, because I've never fought an undead, and I know that they are highly resistant to being dead, obviously. Okay, so let's let this run for a while. So all the dwarves, so as you can see, this guy's like, oh crap, run inside! And these dwarves are like, okay, we're ready for some brawling. I don't know how fast that zombie is. Where is that zombie? Huh? Hide while you still can. Weird. That's really ominous. Okay, so one moment. I am going to get up from my chair and seal the blast door here. Sorry about the noise. Okay. Oh! The game was still running while I was up. So as you can see, they ran over and they started engaging this guy. How do you kill a corpse without a weapon? So this guy is gonna totally wail on this dude. Are you injured? Tell me about yourself. No. Tell me about... Okay, so we're still not chopped up, which is good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, because we've already started engaging and I don't want this guy to be fighting dead dude alone, I'm actually going to go back to the squad menu, which is S. I'm going to select the Fortress Templar, and it shows you their current order, which is hang out right here. And I'm actually going to want him to do something. So I'm going to hit K, which means kill, and we're going to engage this corpse. So hopefully bad things don't happen. I don't really know how damaged that thing is. Well, it's not really doing much damage, so Oh, well, that changed. That, changed. Whew, this could go bad for us. Extreme pain, ability to stand. What happened? Oh, we don't know. I don't have a medical land either. He's probably gonna die there. Woo. Yep, that zombie's just like eating him. Hey zombie, how's your health? Am I allowed to ask? Oh, good God. See, like, I can't tell if it's actually injured because it's already just like a squish. See, I don't think we're anywhere prepared enough to be able to handle a zombie. And it's just gonna sit there, like, chewing this guy up. Ooh. Well, this is interesting. Cannot breathe. Yeah, he's about to die. Well, that was kind of expected. So, now his friend comes to the rescue, but he's probably not going to be able to... Oh, there! We killed him, but... I don't know that I can save this guy. Well, that was interesting. Zombies showed up. Weird. Okay, Okay, crap. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to jump ahead a few steps, because usually nothing shows up around here to give us problems. So this guy is going to just, like... Okay, we're gonna set up something really temporary, and it's gonna be really ugly. Okay, bed. I don't have one. Table. I do have a table. Impromptu medical quarters at the end of this area. Good God. Hospital. Hopefully, let's see if someone can save him. I don't know if he's going to be savable. What's... Yeah, that's because he's out there bleeding to death. Oh, goodness. Oh, well, he's dead. So, never mind. Okay, well, get rid of that. Okay. Well, that stinks. But they're both dead, so... Okay. Wow. Ah, bum. That sucks. Oh well, that's Door Fortress, though, you know? Sometimes bad things happen. It sucks that it happens so quickly. Like, obviously, I'm used to the game. If I had known that... I mean, usually when you're in a little bit grumpier of a place, you kind of know what you have to prioritize. Like, you're not going to prioritize training, and if, like, their angels singing, it's like, oh, and a zombie shows up, I mean, that's going to be unexpected. So, bum cakes. But, moving right along, people die, it happens. We'll get people to replace them at some point. What a very cold way to look at it. Anyways, so now that these two zones are complete, we are going to create stockpiles. So go into your main stock... Ah, man, the zombie, what a jerk. Anyways, go into your main build menu. We're here. At least there wasn't more than one zombie. That's all I gotta say. That would have been bad. He was too busy eating that other guy to notice that some other one came to wail on him. Anyways, back to stockpiles. So stockpiles in the main menu is P, and so there's going to be two major ones. There's going to be furniture and finished goods. I mean, there are obviously other ones like wood and leather and blah blah blah, but the only one we're really worried about right now is finished goods and furniture. So we're going to go ahead and create a big old furniture stockpile right here. And that will keep dwarves busy for probably a little while. And then we're going to create another one for furniture. And that will keep workshops from getting cluttered, because workshops, they do technically have infinite storage, but the problem is, like, it gets cluttered. So eventually, like, if you're making wooden dolls so fast that, like, they can't find a place to store them, you're just like, slam, 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 wooden dolls for everybody. Like, eventually you're just going to be buried in a mountain of wooden dolls, and then it's going to take you a really long time to be able to hammer out a new wooden doll, because you have to, like, swim through this mountain of other wooden dolls. So that's essentially why people are like, oh, get stockpiles, avoid... I mean, it's not necessarily... In fact, sometimes it can be of an advantage if you're sort of swamped with crap, because sometimes your dwarves are just too good, and they just pump stuff out so fast. So sometimes it's good to slow them down, like, it's sort of a handicap thing, but... Oh crap, we're almost out of wood. So remember to cut wood. Oh, we still have some selected, but they're apparently a bunch of lazy bums. So we're going to highlight up some more trees and tell them to get to work. Yeah, I know, he's dead, and he's right here. Right here. See? Look. Huh? Here. Here. I'm just kidding. It'll actually always show you this until a dwarf discovers him. So when a dwarf wanders out there, they'll be like, oh, look, this guy is dead by this zombie. And then it'll say, oh, you found him and he's dead. So you can always find it. People, like in my other video, there's a vampire. The vampire, you can spot the vampire before dwarves do, and then start like pointing fingers back and forth. But if you can find him before, you can do something about it. Sort of the same way that dwarves go missing out in the wilderness because they tripped on a tree or were eaten by a bear or something. You can always be like, oh crap, this is going on, I need to do something about it. But that's not always going to work, obviously. Coffee. Okay, so let's open up this. We're going to start putting in more, well, I'm still going to do it. I'm going to start building in workshops over here for other sort of endeavors, like leatherworking, lye and soap and all that sort of thing. So as you can see, they're kind of just throwing crap in here. There's a bunch of tables and chairs and blah blah blah, and here's a bunch of like crafts and instruments. Speaking of which, we want to keep that good times rolling. Oh yeah. Okay, so before we keep those good times rolling, what we're going to do is we're actually going to build in a quern that we were working on yesterday. So, or the other day. It was actually a few days ago. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So go ahead and hit B for build, and then W for workshop. And as you can see, the quern here is labeled with Q. And then I usually throw it in the area where my food production is, but you can definitely put it wherever you happen to want it. And I would do a screw press, but we can't afford that. Which reminds me, I'm also going to create, so remember to access that menu is J, M, and then Q for new order. And in this case, we are going to get rock hives, because honey is awesome, and we can make mead, and we can do all sorts of cool stuff with it. And we are brewing drinks, which is good. I wish that my mining dwarves would get off their butts. But that's a sort of a common problem in early fortresses, where you have like all sorts of projects you want to work on, but the dwarves are just, because there's so few dwarves, they're all doing everything at the same time. It can get kind of frustrating, especially when you're like way ahead of the curve and the dwarves are still at like the first curve. It could be frustrating. So now, I know we've got chairs, because I saw them dump them all over there, which is actually another sort of benefit to having those stockpiles. You can kind of see what you need and what you have. So we're going to throw some more chairs everywhere. Bunch of cats. Why do we have so many cats? Oh, those are dogs. Okay. As you can see, I'm not used to this texture pack. That's a cat right there. Okay. Gotta be careful of cats, because you can get a cat explosion. And I've talked about it. I don't know if I talked about it in this video series, but in the other one, sort of the problem with cats is if you get two cats, if you watched earlier in these video series, a cat sort of associates itself with whoever it wants, because that's what cats do. They're like, oh, I love your lap, and I claim it as my own. And they kind of do that in this, too. But when you have a pet, you can't... Whoops, don't dump that, dump that. When you have a pet, you can't really kill it, obviously, because, like, dog catchers aren't going to be like, this is a pet, I'm going to capture it and euthanize it, or whatever. No, because it's a pet, You can't do anything with it because that person loves it or whatever. So cats will associate because they just go and they're like, love me, and people are like, oh, okay. So eventually if you get the two genders of cats, like a male and a female, and they start having kittens, even the kittens will associate themselves with people. So you get this like exponential sort of function where like all of these cats keep breeding and you can't do anything about it because they associate themselves with people so quickly. So then they get more cats and then they associate with more people and you get even more cats, and it has brought systems to their knees. Like, this game isn't too intensive, but if you have to process 6 gazillion cats that are all like wanting to check out every corner of the fortress, like if you watch a cat, it will go and like as soon as you mine something out, it'll be like, oh, cool, new stuff. Oh, it has to process that for every creature all the time. So like where this dwarf wants to go and where that dwarf wants to go and what move it wants to make in this next time frame and that sort of thing. So when you get like 6,000 cats doing that, your computer will cry. And it will be sad because your computer's crying. And you don't want a computer crying. I mean, let's be honest. I'm going to have to make this one really big because I'm running out of room on that side. So let's make it that big. Why not? Why not? I'm in charge of this fortress. I do what I want. And as you can see, the cat is very busy killing stuff. And if you happen to see these guys, you can hit K, which is the general viewer, and then you can scroll through this list over here with the plus and minus. We happen to have a dead hamster here, and we don't want it, so go ahead and hit D, and we will dump that in the garbage over here, which turns into this little puddle where all of these are. So if you hit K, you can see, like, whoa, all this dead stuff the cat's been killing. Because cats are jerks. Oh, yeah. Oh, crap. I forgot. Do I have any coffins? Q? No, not Q. Oh, what's it called? Oh, I'm surprised I don't remember. There it is. N. Yes, we do. We have to get started on that, or that dwarf's going to come back and haunt us. So let's get started. So what we're going to do, because we have a dead dwarf, dead dwarves, if you leave them, on the one hand, it doesn't really matter technically, because as long as they're not dead inside, it's not going to piss off other dwarves. On the other hand, it does kind of matter, because, let's see, where do I have the least amount of room? Probably this way. Yeah, this way. So let's cut that off right about here. And then we'll make a one-door entrance, sort of like the catacombs entrance right here. And then... Oh, wait. That's not what I want. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, if, like, a dwarf dies and you kind of leave them, it's technically not that bad of a thing for the Dortress on the whole. But if you, it's technically bad at the same time. I mean, you're probably saying, Drax, what the flip, man? Are you on something? And the answer is yes, and I'm almost out of my coffee, so that's a problem. But anyways, what happens is dwarves, if you don't inter their remains properly, they basically end up hating you and coming back to haunt your fortress, which kind of sucks because, like, technically, usually the dwarves aren't that, like, malevolent. Like, they're not gonna kill dwarves, but they actually do sometimes. Sometimes you can get really pissed off spirits, and they'll be like, "You didn't bury me properly," and then they, like, eat your soul or whatever. They eat a dwarf soul. They don't actually eat a soul. What they do is they wander around and they'll, like, shove your dwarf, or they'll just hang out with the dwarves, and then the dwarves will be like, "Whoa, dude, this dead guy is really harshing my mellow right now." 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on top of that, like, any family members that the dwarf had, they get, like, unhappy thoughts for the longer that body is neglected. And they're like, "Oh, my dear Jimmy, you left him to rot out in the open." So I don't want to get haunted. So we're going to create something for dwarves to be dead in. So what I'm doing here is basically I've created a bunch of catacomb rooms because eventually important people are like, I want to be buried somewhere fancy. So that's what this is sort of planning for that. I cut them all off because while I will want that at some point, so I'm going to mark it off by having it available, I'm also wanting to streamline the process because obviously labor is at a premium right now. So I'm like, dig over here and create this. which is a technique, but not necessarily one you have to use. If you don't mind waiting forever and having the guy possibly haunt you, then maybe we'll get a chance to show you what happens when you do get a ghost. So, and maybe in a later video I'll show you what happens and what you do. Ugh, stupid zombie, making every life difficult. Oh man, and I really want to make those crafting areas too. Everyone do things. Freaking dwarves, be more industrious. Oh, there goes the miners. Oh, I thought they went up, not down. Jerks. Bunch of sleeping dwarves. I'm also gonna have to get started on my well project here soon. Hopefully we get some more dwarves, because labor is already kind of annoying me, and you know. Hurry up! I don't want that dwarf coming back pissed off. Do we have more chairs? We do. Sweet. Yay! Okay, so this is basically my design for meeting halls. Sometimes it's a little bit different, but that's basically how it goes every time. Let's see. So let's go ahead and break this down. I don't have place for cloth yet, but we're working on it. Man, that cat is a murderer. So, let me think. What else do I want to talk about? Oh yeah, this is created, so let's go ahead and let's see. So this is all plump helmets. So one thing that you're going to want is pigtails. So we're going to prioritize this for pigtails and plump helmets in the winter. So again, I know we talked about it when we created this guy, but this farm, A, B, C, and D are the seasons when you first select. So if I hit Q to view it, it shows you which season you're currently in. So we're in autumn. So you can set that up, and then you can switch between them with A, B, C, and D. And you can sort of... Corey bushes. I don't remember if I talked about it, but basically let's go to let's go to summer, because summer everything grows. So, plump helmets are food, and they are alcohol items, and you can turn them into meals. They're the easiest food source because you can basically eat them right out of the ground. If you cook them, you lose the seed basically to plant a new one. If you brew them, you keep the seed, but obviously you can't eat it, but you drink it, and dwarves like to drink, so bam. Pigtails, they're like a reed basically. You use them for a lot of thread, cloth, and cloth making. It's very important for things like bags. You'll find that you'll need those pretty much for everything. Sand, putting seeds in, all sorts of stuff. So bags are important. And plus, dwarves get really angry if their clothing deteriorates and they're like naked, because then they feel like they're savages or whatever. Cave wheat is also very nice. It can be ground into flour, which can then be used in meals, or it can be used for a type of beer. And of course, anything that can be used for beer is awesome. Pigtails, no food value whatsoever. Sweet pods, you can't eat it. It has to be processed into sugar, and then from the sugar you can make rum. And you can... Well, actually, can you make rum from those sweet pods? I think you can actually only make rum from honey, so I take that back. But it is used for mostly cooking. Quarry bushes have a couple of uses. You can create rock nuts, which can basically sort of be eaten out of the ground, but they're a little bit less versatile than plump helmets, which is why we don't recommend starting with quarry bushes. You can also press them into oil, and the oil can be used for cooking. I believe it can be used for cooking. Don't quote me on that. But it is also used for a type of soap. And dimple cups are crap. Well, they're not crap. They basically only add value to crafted items already, which is usually like dye. So you can dye thread, you can dye cloth, you can dye clothes, and that's basically where that comes in. So it's not particularly useful, so which is why I don't spend a lot of field space on them. And I'm still surprised that zombie showed up. I wonder if that means we're going to have to expect it. Probably. And I might do an advanced defense technique in this one. I sort of didn't really go into that in the other game, but we'll probably do that a bit more here. just because it's a little bit more approachable for people, since it's not like, woo, oh, you freaking lazy dwarves. Why aren't you mining? What is going on? Store item in barrel. You're all miners. Freaking mine. What's the problem? Is this not lining up? What's the deal? This is all up downstairs, right? Yep, all up down. I don't know what the deal is. Okay, let's look. Yeah, 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 yeah. I is up, down. Yeah, I don't know. Freaking lazy dwarves. Stop getting drunk and go dig out that crap. Gotta dump all of the murdered animals, because that's gross to have a bunch of, like, even at home, you're like, ew, there's a dead mouse here. Yeah, we don't want that here in our fortress. So hopefully my dwarves get off their butts and freaking dig that out. Hopefully they also dump all of this dead stuff, because I've ordered up all of it to be dumped, but they tend to be kind of lazy, apparently. All kinds of people complaining at me. Whatever. Anyways, that will about do it for this episode, so I will say, hopefully we learned a little bit. I mean, I definitely have never experienced an undead attack before, so that's actually pretty interesting. Usually, I've only played a couple of, like, hard mode maps, and they can get pretty tough, but I've never had to deal with the undead. And you can actually have a problem with necromancers, where necromancers will attack. What the flip is the deal? Where necromancers attack, and they'll basically turn dead things into undead things, and then they will attack you, which I heard is actually quite terrifying, but I haven't ever actually had to experience that. But anyways, so I will say, thank you for watching. I hope Dwarf Fortress, or this tutorial, is helping you. If it is, feel free to give me a comment. I'm always glad to hear about stories and silly things that happen to your dwarves as well, because it is kind of a crazy game where crazy things can happen. And hopefully we'll get a trade caravan here soon. But for now, I will say I'm Draxxinusam. Thank you for watching, and we will see you here next time. You have a good one.